Hey everyone, I'm rather Incoherent, and this is the tempo Overheal Priest that I played at the start of the expansion, and it did really well then. However, in my heart, I have this sneaking suspicion that it's not actually good at playing against unrefined decks. Otherwise, I'd be seeing other people playing it these days. So, I want to go give it another shot. I want to go get stomped in Legend for like 3 games, and then I'll go ahead and scrap the deck. But I want to test, is this actually a good deck? Because playing it's a little bit jank, piloting it is a little bit unintuitive. It's possible that it's not catching on because an aggro deck where the correct play is oftentimes pass on turn 3 is weird, and that might just cause it to not see the play it should. However, I'm pretty sure it's just not a great deck, and we're going to test that, figure it out, nail it down, see if this deserves a spot in my deck list or not. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Liking, commenting, subscribing, all that stuff really does help the channel grow, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get to testing. All right, we've got our first matchup. It's against a Paladin. This seems like a great example of the sort of deck that might be the reason this isn't viable. If your plan the first couple of turns is slow against the Paladin, surely that just gets you killed, right? Now this is 1 into 3 into 4. There aren't really many varied 2-drops in the deck, so I'm gonna hold this because the deck really can't do that much better than this, aside from hitting like a Mana Geode on 2, which would make the Heartthrob bad on 3, so, you know, it's hard to get an objectively better curve than this. And now I have to make decisions about what I'm playing? Gross. Before I could just like thoughtlessly go through my turns and not care too much, but now I have to decide if I want to play the Mana Geode, and I absolutely want to play the Mana Geode. This could be Kangor Paladin. Missing their 1-drop on the coin makes it seem like Kangor Paladin. I'm gonna play this, because if it is Kangor Paladin, I want the tempo. And if it's pure Paladin, I honestly want the tempo even more. Would I play other things over Heartthrob? Absolutely. I would Hero Power Idol's Adoration if this Geode lives every single time. It doesn't though, unsurprisingly, but that's fine. I'll just slam Heartthrob and make him fret about it, even though I have no way of activating it quickly and no intention of activating it quickly. I can play this instead. I might need that Heartthrob later. I'm gonna do this instead. I'm gonna save that Idol's Adoration as well. Rather than spending a card to get 1 extra heal, it doesn't seem worth it. And this will make him worry again. If he has the ability to remove, he probably will use it on that 1/3. And now it's a great Dude Smasher, so I can live with that. Would I rather play Pozic here? Pozic's a little bit awkward because he can just play the bots. And I know his deck sucks at doing things. I still just play Pozic. Like, I'm fully expecting him to play a bot and be like, oh, thanks, I didn't have anything to do this turn anyway. Which is unfortunate, but at the same time, like, I can't not play Pozic here. Oh, he's not playing the bots. He's doing something on 5. Kangor? That's unfortunate. Could that ever be the ticket? Probably not, right? We're just gonna put Heartthrob down and duplicate the Heartthrob. Now, we're probably just dead because it's a Kangor Paladin with turn 4 Kangor, and that's the high roll. The deck's good without the high roll, so when they hit Kangor on 5, or 4 if you're on the coin, it tends to just win the game. Kangor notably worse with the robots in hands. We have 8 of 16, which is nowhere near lethal. We're getting closer though. This, that. Get a Heartthrob instead. Heartthrob instead seems better. I just need to dodge a Quality Consecrate. A Quality Consecrate will lose me the game, but other than that, I'm in a great spot. Come on, just don't have it. It's easy, just don't have it. He doesn't have a quality. That doesn't have taunt, but it does have lifesteal for 8. It's really hoping you hit more audio bots. I wonder what's in his hand. Isn't it almost certainly just objectively wrong to play what he did? Why would you not play audio bot first? What could be in your hand to make audio bot not the obvious correct play? Oh man, it's sad. I hate losing to somebody who's just objectively misplaying. Anyway, I'm 100% dead because he played the only way where Kangor could lose him the game, and it just didn't get punished. But yeah, a high roll with Kangor, nothing to talk about there. Let's move on. That doesn't mean anything about this deck. The fact that I almost won's impressive. Saying I almost won might be an exaggeration. That there was an RNG path to victory there that was a non-zero chance. Alright. We have Cathedral of Atonement into Heartthrob. So we would never play Injured Tol'vir on 2. We would always be coining the location. Then we'll see what else we can get. Crimson Clergy here to make my life awkward as always. I will just slam Clergy on 1 if there's not a minion on board to answer it already. It's Blood. I think I can make big enough boards to be unthreatened by them, to be honest. I played this with the intention of coin cathedraling and not actually doing anything to it. But my opponent doesn't know that. He might panic about it and, I don't know, play Astalor. There's not a lot that would matter here. Coin Cathedral here every time. Buff this to relevant numbers. And if he wants to just like turn 3 asphyxiate my 1-drop that has already been replaced thanks to the Cathedral, I would be happy to see it.
My blood.
The real question is, do I just slam Heartthrob here? And since he's played a 2-3 that I can answer with my own minion, the answer is absolutely yes. We're looking to cannibalize on turn 4. Get out there, buddy. I need that 2-3 dead to maximize the overheal value on this cannibalize. And he's also protecting the 2-5 from an asphyxiate because he has more attack, which is neat. If I can't manage to get off a cannibalize, I can Tour Guide Cathedral to get a big minion all the same. Come on, just play the school teacher. Just play it. Unfortunate. You would, wouldn't you? Drop this. Cycle with it. Well, make your own Boulder Fist Ogre. It's a little bit backwards, though. Anyway, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say you don't have Asphyxiate, since you did pick Death Strike from Hematurge. That implies you were lacking in single target removal. You could easily still have Asphyxiate. It doesn't mean anything. I swear to God, when you get Shadow or Death, how dare you? Alright, at least we have board control. Idol's Adoration cycles. Kind of want this on the board. But it's not safe on the board is the issue. If I'm gonna cycle a card, it's better to cycle this. I have draw for days. I have every location. It's a shame I don't have any room left for minions. I need to get rid of that. Like, I just need to cycle cards. I have double cannibalize over here. This is a weird one. Like I said, the deck plays out very weird and it's hard to pilot, so that would be a big part of why it might have a lower play rate, because no other aggro deck plays like this. It's just bizarre. Shadow Word Undeath from the hipster. That's pretty funny. You hard run Heart Strike. Excuse me, sir, that's incorrect. Don't do that. Okay, we're a turn under Soul Stealer. We still have a chance. We need to get these guys out of Corpse Explosion range. That's very important. I can only get 1 out of Corpse Explosion range, but maybe that's good enough. Tol'vir can go on the board and get healed as well. It's not super important. Tol'vir and Idol's Adoration. Oh, I already had that on 0, I think, from the tour guide and just forgot about it. Maybe I'm going crazy. It was green a second ago. I think I'm going crazy, though. I want both of these to be as threatening as possible. I don't need to use any more resources this turn, so I can just stop here. I want the attack here high as I can possibly be, though. And then next turn, if this is around, we can threaten damage with it, but probably not. How much damage do we have? We have 2, 4. He got the Asphyxiate eventually. That was ultimately unavoidable, but still sad. Soul Stealer is in range, so now the only way we win is if he just happens to not have Soul Stealer, but realistically the game's just over. We weren't able to get in early enough. We basically lost a while back, sort of to this Heart Strike, but more to this Discovered Death Strike. That was the thing that really sealed the deal for it. Do I want to copy some school teachers? Is that able to win? Got 11 cards left. Do any of them do anything? Adonis. Adonis is a way out. But until then, I need other things. So give me that. We have Clear Conscience and Switcheroo. I think I'm more interested in the Switcheroo. I just barely on Overdraw, so neat. And I'm assuming I'm getting Soul Stolen here, so I'm not too concerned about fighting for board. I'm just going to go face. So, Soul Stealer comes down. He has a 5-5. I have a bunch of locations. That's the real issue, is I can't play around Soul Stealer and Corpse Explosion. He doesn't even need Soul Stealer here. He can just Corpse Explosion. Honestly, he can just Blood Boil. It'll be fine. He'll leave a 4-2. I think I might be playing for Adonis combo to win this. I might be sitting on all of my heals until he dies. The issue there is I can't use this as a draw engine if I'm doing that. So that was a weird turn. That wasn't what I was expecting at all. And might indicate that he didn't have Corpse Explosion since he wasn't using it to clear. It might also indicate that he doesn't have Soul Stealer, but I don't think he would Soul Steal there. I think it's just like Pozic, Holy Champion, Dreamboat here. Pozic's pretty funny at 2 health.
Everyone, stay in sync.
And I need to draw more cards. And I want this to get bigger if I'm forced to choose. And I hold the rest of my heals, no reason to spend them yet. Adonis bottom 7, but I mean he can still do a lot of healing. The issue is that it's probably not going to be enough if I don't draw him like this turn-ish. Kind of out of time. Like I needed it to be on an empty board with him at relatively low health. Now that he's going to be healed up to 27 and putting stuff on board. Corpse Explosion actually doesn't do it here. Blood Boil's kind of gross, but not too bad. That 5/5 needs to die, by the way. If he doesn't kill that, it's going to be very, very bad for him. Let me tell you, Mana Geode is not a card that is useful in the late game versus a Blood Death Knight. These cards are completely useless in my hands. Come on, do something. I wonder what he's deciding about. It seems to be very complicated over there. Oh, did he disconnect? There we go. He finally figured out that you play Blood Boil. He's just really unhappy about the Pozic things. Fair enough, I guess. So that seems like a decent chunk of damage, right? Cannibalize doesn't fit into a Adonis turn. So I think that I'm just going to... Oh, actually, neither does Power Chord Synchronize. I can take this and drop it for another big threat. I would like to get draw with this, but it's not really possible. This sort of does get draw. And so far as, it doesn't fit on the board, so never mind. God, I wish there was a way to trade something off here that wasn't just, like, absolutely horrendous. I can tap one of these. I don't like it, but I can. And I have to find the Adonis to win. Cycle that draw, and then I found the other one. Cool. What's my Adonis turn looking like? Adonis, Sun Fury, Hero Power, and Location. That's 4 triggers. That's 20 damage in 4 increments of 5. Which, with Soul Stealer on the board, is not enough to kill unless I get incredibly lucky. Now, what can I do if I don't have Adonis? Mana Geode, Cannibalize, baby. Well, Heartthrob definitely makes that turn better.
Our hearts go out to you. This one's for you,
All right. It's just a shame Adonis was at the very bottom. I could still theoretically win this. It's bizarre.
The more you'll struggle.
Just don't give him Blood Boil. Give him anything but Blood Boil or Frost Mystery. That one would also be very bad. But the vast majority of cards available don't matter that much individually. I probably should have hero powered my Heartthrob there, huh? Since I can't use 2 of them in the same turn on Adonis. Also, Adonis, I really need you to get the fuck out of the deck. I can't have you being on the bottom too. It's getting to be a little bit too late. Asphyxiate on a random 5/5 isn't that bad for me. If I miss Adonis, do I just have to slam a Sun Fury here? Dreamboat's probably better, right? Oh wow, just random second Asphyxiate. Alright, cool. Yeah, it's fucking fine. I don't need to play minions. Minions are optional. Drop this. Heal that. Drop Tour Guide. Drop Dreamboat. Go face. And I may as well light it burns this 2-1. If he Soul Stealers, I have exact lethal with Adonis. Still able to win the game. Not actually dead yet. Oh my god. Just don't have Adonis be the literal bottom card in the deck. Maybe he didn't look at the board too carefully there. I don't know about literally throwing away Dirty Rat. So that we're clear, that misplay cost him the game. Oh my god, I can't believe we got through that. He's dead. We fucking got him. Good job, Adonis, you earned your spot. If he had played Dirty Rat after the corpse explosion, I lost the game 100% of the time. Because I lose the heal on Sun Fury Clergy. And he gets another target that has 6 health, so it's very unlikely they go face enough to kill him. Oh my god. That misplay was disastrous. Alright, we have another Paladin, probably Pure Paladin, could be Kangor Paladin. There's a trend of those after the recent video. The recent video by Saphige, I should clarify, it's obviously not me. We hold turn 1 Crimson Clergy, we toss the rest, we need better than that. I mean, those are plays. If it's Kangor Paladin, I'm feeling confident. If it's Pure Paladin, this probably is just an unwinnable matchup. Pure Paladin feels like it very much does not lose to this deck. If he passes on 1, leaning toward... Alright, cool. He didn't pass on 1. It's Pure Paladin, just like we expected. We take the trade, we drop the next big minion. So the idea of winning by using Cathedral and just making my Holy Champion, is that what you're called? Huge? Oh, whoa, whoa. A, that is why you run Boogie down instead of Order in the Court. B, was not expecting that. I would like to have 2 minions that are reasonably large, and I would like this guy to not die to something random. I guess he's in range of Consecrate. Surely you don't have any deck in the game that runs Sous Chef and Consecrate. That's crazy. I can cannibalize that. It's sort of shit, though. Idol's Adoration isn't enough to overheal there. Injured Tol'vir has Taunt. That's pretty relevant. Honestly, I think I'd rather buff the injured Tol'vir than anything else. It's a weird play, but I'm just trying to make sure his 1/1s don't get any real value on the board. When Countess comes down, if I have a bunch of overheal stuff and cannibalize ready to go, it'll probably win me the game, right? What are you coining 5 for? Purator in hand already? That makes sense. Now, I probably just have to cannibalize here, but that's honestly fine. What else can I do with my turn other than cannibalize? A lot of things that sound terrible by comparison. Let's cannibalize. I'm going to be using this turn anyway, so let's check in and see what's in it. That leaves my decision unaffected, so now we do this. Get everything to full health, overheal on both of them. That'll be Tour Guide. Do I want to draw, or do I want to go face for more? He's probably having Light Rays coming down, right? He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. That actually is not Light Ray range yet. I want the damage then. This forces him to make inefficient plays right now to get Light Rays out at non-zero cost, and that's the sort of thing that can win you games, is by making them not get 0 mana Light Rays. I mean, if you just happen to have several 1-drops in hand, it's not that inefficient. He still shouldn't be able to get down both. That guarantees it hits a 1-drop, so probably another one of these. Oh well, he just barely got down. Yeah, just have 2 1-drops and a 2-drop in your hand, easy. How do you have all of this low-cost stuff but you ordered in the court on 2? Why would you do that? That's deeply confusing. Cathedral of Atonement lets me get through with the Tol'vir. So that's going to happen for sure, so let's see what's in it. We want this for draw at this point, right? I think so. It's not pretty. I don't like it. But we need to do this to afford the Tol'vir this turn. And we're really looking for that Cannibalize because we kind of still need it. Unfortunately, he's down to Blood Crusader. Can he clear, actually? 2, 4... I'm left with 6. Blood Crusader cost him 7 health. That's actually setting up lethal. He can't play Blood Crusader this turn. Huh, neat. I wasn't aware I set up exactly lethal to counteract that. I was just dealing with all the taunts as best I could.
My heart is pumping.
Unless I messed up, that was incorrect. Right? You have 6. This is not killable. That leaves me with 6, which is lethal. Yeah, that's well played, buddy. All right, got through it. I'm surprised to see you can beat Pure Paladin, but that's the version with Order in the Court instead of Boogie Down. So, you know, the problem isn't as severe because I can build a big board by turn 6. My fear with Pure Paladin is that they're playing the fast version that's actually aggressive enough to beat Blood Paladin. Or Blood Death Knight, rather. When you're running Order in the Court, you're basically saying you aren't counterattacking Blood Death Knight at all. And that is a bad statement to make in this meta. Coincidentally, it's also just seeming to be a generally weaker deck because the Boogie Down helps you get under so many other decks where you can't with Order in the Court. All right, it's another Death Knight. None of this is good enough, but you can't be throwing Mana Geode, can you? That on 3 would be a River Croc that summons a 2/2. That's nowhere near good enough, but we can hold Mana Geode. Looking for Fan Club, Idol's Adoration, Tour Guide. Not that. Those are 2 of the most expensive cards in our deck. Cool. Is this... Oh, wait, it's not blood. That might be even worse. That might be even worse. Definitely Mana Geode here. If he has Skeletal Sidekick, I'd probably just lose. That's true if I played Tol'vir too. But this has a chance of winning on the spot if I don't have that. Bone Breaker is actually worse than Skeletal Sidekick. Oh, hey, it's Idol's Adoration. Nice of you to show up right on time, buddy. If that had shown up on turn 1 and we added a 2/2 on board right now, we'd be in a good spot. But instead, it showed up on turn 3, and our opponent's probably just fine with it. I'm assuming that's the Saurian or School Teacher. Could be Construct Quarter. Yeah, of course it goes there. It's not like my Thessarians. My Thessarians know that face is the place. I don't know who taught them that, but they've only gone face in every game I've played recently. So, what do we do here? There's no way to play a Hedonus. I mean, I could just play Hedonus and be like, trade into it, lol. And he could not. He could refuse to trade into it. And there's not really another play, so I'm just gonna put down a 4/6 and make him deal with it, because you can't ignore this minion. I mean, with a bunch of 1/1s on board, you kind of can. Maybe it'll work. But there's really not another play. I can Sun Fury and be dead. I can Crimson Clergy and heal it and hope to find something to do with 3 mana other than Sun Fury. I'm glad that one went face. If his whole plan was hopefully get 50-50s here, then I'm glad it went face. Of course, there are plenty of answers there, so it's probably still dead. Yep, and that'll do it. So, what can I do here to conceivably win? Because Cannibalize doesn't have any good targets. That ain't really it. I don't know how I could possibly win here. I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to imagine that there's a way out. But the answer is that you are playing Tempo Overkill Priest and he's playing Frost Death Knight and he's not AFK. Oh, cool, I like him. I actually have my Frost deck text like that as well, even though it's a really weird, bad choice a lot of the time. Let's see it, what do you have? Now I'm dead because he has multiple Frostborn's Fury and this doesn't actually... I don't think I'm gonna win in the next 3 turns, man. I'm pretty sure that's a fucking death sentence. Oh, I want to concede on the spot, but I want to see what happens. Like, he's gonna sack in the 4/3. And I'm gonna be dead in 3 turns, and he's gonna have like 4 copies of Frostborn's Fury in hands. Oh my god. That is not the random 6-drop I wanted. I didn't want one that said die in 3 turns. I don't... If the game ends in 3 turns, I sure as hell am not the guy who won it. Is it possible if he goes in but fails to kill the Heartthrob that I could win? Well, the issue is he has to kill on board against both of them, right? He can just full trade, kill the Heartthrob, kill the 6/6, guarantee he wins effectively. I don't know why I'm still in the game. Like, it's gonna be cool, I wanna see it, but in reality, he's just gonna clear my board and do whatever the hell he wants the next couple of turns while I die automatically, right? Yeah, you got 2 cards. That's all but guaranteed to mean he has at least 2 Frostborn's Fury, which means I am 100% dead. Like, he's been mathing out the turn. He's been finding the absolute best play. I don't know why he didn't kill the 6/6. I guess to set up 2-turn lethal would be a decent enough reason, huh? Well, I mean, like, let's not pretend we aren't going face here. I'm not starting that timer. I am dying to the 2 Frostworm's Furies in hand. I'm 110% dead. There's not a point in being here. Like, there's not a way to win, right? That... Even if he just has a bunch of Frost Strikes in hand, I'm dead. I'm not gonna sit here and wait to see how it plays out just because I have a funny card on board. I'm dead. All right, gonna play one last game with this, as we're currently 2-2. I want to see how it does. I'm not convinced it's a good deck. Like many decks that feel almost viable, it's bad against the entire metagame, and that tends to mean the deck is actually just bad and not bad in this meta. Should you ever just be holding Heartthrob with this deck? Is that how it works? I sincerely hope that's not the case. It's an aggro deck. I don't have a 1-drop. All right, so admittedly, the deck's been performing a little bit badly. I've also not played a card on 1, I think, in any of these 5 games, despite having 8 cards I can slam on 1. Like, I can slam Crimson Clergy, Fan Club, Idol's Adoration, and Tour Guide on 1, and I have not had a single play on turn 1 so far today. Anyway, sick Riverfin Crocolisk. Really happy about that minion. Generally speaking, if you're gonna miss your 1-drops, you don't want to see your opponent quinning his absolute best curve on 1, right? That's not how it goes. That's not what a winning game looks like. I can Heartthrob and he could somehow have nothing, and there's not an alternative play, so it's what we do. If I play Cathedral and Deposit, what happens is my opponent goes face and I lose the game, because I'll have lost so much health by the time Posit hits the board with his buffs, because, like, it'll actually just be 10 health, right? This will hit me twice, plus whatever he plays this turn. At best, I'll be at, like, 17. Sorry, I'll have lost 12. I'll be at, like, 13. Yeah. Just, why not draw all the cards? Oh, I kind of thought you'd at least have to sacrifice your 3/2, but... Oh, wait, I'm stupid. I thought you had the mana to hero power as well. At least the 3/2 is gone, right? That's something. We can cannibalize the 3/4 and overheal nothing. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna call it there. I don't feel like suffering this one out. Let's not pretend this is the kind of deck that comes back from this spot. So the issue with Tempo Overheal Priest is really, really simple. If you make an aggro deck that loses to aggro decks and the only control deck played in the format, what decks are you targeting? And the answer is bad ones. You know who else targets bad decks? Every good deck in the game. If they're playing a bad deck, you don't need to target them, right? That's the issue. This deck does the bare minimum. It's able to capitalize on your opponent's bad curves and win games, but every good deck should be able to do that. This is not even a tier 3 deck. This is a fringe deck. This is like old Mech Mage pre-rotation, where technically the deck works, but why would you ever pick this? Which is sad, because it's so cool. There are patch notes with buffs going live next week, so hopefully they include buffs to stuff like this, where it's almost viable, but it's clearly not there, because this deck needs something. It's not there yet, and in its current state and the current metas, there's no reason to try, which is super sad. Tempo Overheal was one of the cooler things in the opening to the expansion, but in its present state, how the meta's evolved, it can't close out games against Blood Death Knight reliably. It can't win curve matches against Pure Paladin. It can't win curve against Frost Death Knight. If every aggro deck feels unfavored, if the main control deck feels unfavored, if I don't know that I can even reliably kill a druid, like, that's the one thing it's doing well, but every aggro deck does. I'm gonna stop rambling. Tempo Overheal Priest is unfortunately pretty weak. It's weak in a really impressive way that makes you think it's strong, but realistically, it's a lot like Mech Unholy, right? It's doing this thing where the good curve is incredible, but the bad curve is just a bunch of disparate pieces without the glue to connect them, and you're left with a pile of garbage. Like when you end up on turn 4 with Cannibalize, Pozik, and an empty board against an aggro deck, and your hand has more cards than that, then it's so, let's say you've top decked a Crimson Clergy, and you have a Cathedral in hand and on board, right? Like, what are you doing in that situation? You're losing. If you miss your early curve and you don't explode onto the board, pretty much guaranteed this deck's gonna be shit, because realistically, this is the power of the deck. It's just Heartthrob and 28 cards. And if the other 28 cards actually did shit on their own, it'd be one story, but every single one of our cards is a synergy piece. So you can just draw them in the wrong order, and hey, we're Black Rock and Roll Warrior, and we're just as viable. It's the most common critique I have for decks when I'm realizing they're not actually good, is that your draw order matters. Not you need to draw a good curve to have a good win rate. Every deck has that. But if you draw a bad curve, it's basically unwinnable because you had to draw your cards in a certain order. And if you don't do that, then it doesn't work. And that's why this deck is going straight in the dumpster, unfortunately. Deck list in the description, though, if you think I'm wrong. Anyways, I'm done for now. I've been rather Incoherent. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff really does help the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next one.